Ever texted your ex "miss you" only for autocorrect to betray you with "missy"? Yeah, your phone's probably over it before you are. But before you declare "I'm ready for love" and your phone insists you are craving lasagna, ask yourself, are you genuinely healed or just emotionally stir-frying your rebound? Jumping into a new relationship too soon can feel like putting glitter on a cracked mug, shiny but still leaking. So let's dive into the hilarious, heartfelt, and sometimes horrifying signs that reveal if you're ready to love again or just ready to stop crying in the shower. Healing does not have to be perfect or even finished. Healing is rarely linear. Sometimes you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, like learning the Macarena in slow motion. A essay in Time explored how entering a new relationship can actually accelerate healing, since it offers fresh interaction patterns and emotional bandwidth to explore growth in real time. Think of it as testing your emotional fitness. Are you still reactive or responding? You might not be at peak recovery, but if you can show up with curiosity rather than woundedness, you are in a better place than you think. Sure, you might still tear up watching a rom-com or miss your ex's weird laugh, but if those moments are occasional ripples rather than tidal waves, you can cautiously board the dating lifeboat with your emotional seatbelt fastened. You have reached emotional closure, or accept it did not happen. Closure does not always come in the form of one big chakra reopening text from your ex. It can simply be the ability to acknowledge what happened, and that's enough. Psychological studies suggest that knowing why a relationship ended and accepting that, not obsessively replaying consequences, promotes emotional stability and greater resilience in future partnerships. It does not mean you are lukewarm about your ex, it just means their chapter is closed in your mind. You might still remember your anniversary or have nostalgia, but if that memory no longer triggers a meltdown or rinse and repeat regret spree, then your internal font has switched from italics to regular. And that, dear reader, is emotional typography gold. You have processed the grief, because heartbreak hurts a lot. Heartbreak does not just turn you into a mopey rom-com protagonist, it can mimic actual clinical depression, with symptoms like insomnia, fatigue, and an unhealthy obsession with your ex's Spotify activity. Studies show about 24% of people go through depressive episodes just 2 months post-breakup. And while that number drops to 14% after 2 years, the emotional scar tissue can linger like a Taylor Swift ballad stuck on loop. If you are still crying into your cereal 3 years later, it's probably time for therapy, not Tinder. But if you have reached the stage where memories of your ex no longer punch you in the gut, but instead passed by like a cringy ad for a show you used to binge, you are in a good place. The grief has softened from soul-crushing storm to emotional drizzle, annoying but manageable. And if your self-talk now sounds more like a TED talk than a horror film narrator, that's real progress. You are not trying to erase the past, you are just not living there anymore. Congrats, you have traded emotional spiraling for emotional sprinting with better shoes. You're saying yes to life again. When the world invites you to a dance-off, you instinctively lean in or at least consider it. That's a great sign of relationship readiness. Your tango highlights how openness to experiences, wanting to laugh, meet, and be vulnerable signals you are emotionally booking seats for future love. It's not about posting "living my best life" selfies, but genuinely feeling curious, excited, or game even for small interactions like chatting over smoothies. Basically, you're back in the arena. After a breakup, you might have thought of dating as optional, but now you are seeing it as possible. That willingness to live, explore, and risk love again. That's more electric than any pickup line. You can risk getting hurt and not blame yourself entirely. Emotional resilience is basically your heart's version of a good immune system. It does not mean you won't catch a little disappointment now and then, but you bounce back faster, stronger, and hopefully with better boundaries. According to brides.com, one of the most telling signs you are ready to date again is your ability to risk getting hurt without catastrophizing the outcome. Think of it like ordering sushi at a new restaurant. You might end up with food poisoning, but more often than not, it's just a California roll and a good story. The emotionally mature dater understands that rejection isn't a personal indictment, it's just someone else's preference, timing, or baggage showing up uninvited. It's knowing that it did not work out doesn't mean you're not worthy, it just means your heart's still interviewing candidates. If you can take a romantic faceplant and still get up with your dignity intact, you are golden. Not everyone will like your vibe, and that's okay. What matters is that you still do. You can identify and avoid your toxic patterns. Repeat offenders in dating usually stem from unresolved legacy issues, from communication breakdowns to attachment anxieties. Business Insider emphasizes that being able to identify pros and cons of past relationships and avoiding repeating old scripts is key. Maybe you used to always fixate on someone else's phone habits or recheck their texts when stressed. If you can spot those triggers early, then you're exhibiting real progress. Therapy, journaling, or even just a few brutally honest chats with friends are like relationship-level patch testing. So if you have caught yourself heading down the same toxic detour before you wrote it, you are already smarter than your ex was. You are not dating to run away from yourself. If you are dating just to prove something, bolster self-worth, to show off, or to soothe the loneliness, you might still be carrying rebound baggage. Experts like Julie Spira caution that using dating to rebuild self-esteem only leads you to a comparison game. Instead, ask, am I excited to share my true self, or to cover up loneliness? If dating feels like needing applause or a band-aid for your ego, you're not ready for a partnership, but rather a performance. A healthy relationship grows when both parties are emotionally available, not emotionally auditioning. You have rebuilt your me factor: hobbies, friends, coffee alone. Grief often erases the you in your world. Rebuilding means rediscovering that identity: friends, hobbies, or even sipping coffee solo while enjoying your own company. A Talker research survey found 2/3 of single parents got post-breakup glow-ups within 11 months, reporting increased confidence and personal growth. If you have picked up painting, joined a running club, or simply can enjoy a solo bookstore trip without nerves, then you have rediscovered selfhood. Those are not just coping skills, that are relationship foundations. You are not a project, you are a person, and that's how potential partners will experience you. You know what you want, and more importantly, don't want. Dating with direction means more than swiping right. It means knowing what lights you up and what dims your spark. According to Wondermind and Forbes, when you understand your self-intentions, boundaries, desires, you forge healthier, longer-lasting connections. That means being able to say, I want someone who laughs at memes as much as I do, but does not ghost when stressed. Or, if I want kids someday, it's not non-negotiable, it's my negotiating table. Dating becomes proactive instead of reactive. You date to co-create, not test unknown waters. If you understand what you are seeking and what you're not, that's clarity. And clarity is attractive. You can talk objectively about that disaster of a relationship. If you can say, I learned I was too codependent there, instead of a laundry list of they never texted me back, you're speaking emotional fluently. Psychotherapist Todd Baratz emphasizes how self-awareness and self-compassion, knowing who you are and owning your part, helps build connection. That means you don't still describe your ex as the evil villain or claim it was 100% their fault. You understand that relationships are 50-50 or sometimes 90-10, but either way, accountability matters. This ability to reflect and speak clearly about past wounds means you're emotionally bilingual, fluent in your past and present. You can handle seeing their name without curling into a ball. When your ex's name pops up and does not trigger a meltdown or heated scrolling, you are likely in a neutral emotional space. Business Insider and Mom Junction both stress that being able to see ex-related reminders without storming off emotionally is a major green flag. You might think, that was nice, now onto tomorrow's coffee. If you can see their enthusiasm post-breakup, smile at old photos, scroll past their story without reliving betrayal or grief, then you have protected your emotional firewall. That doesn't mean you are cold, it means you're stable. And stable hearts make the best co-adventurers. If you laughed, nodded, or felt personally called out at least once, congrats, you're healing like a champ. Hit that like button if your emotional seatbelt is fastened, and subscribe for more brutally honest, slightly sassy takes on love, life, and moving on. And remember, your heart is not broken, it's just in beta testing.